You've been manipulated today, not yesterday, not last week, today. Before you even opened your eyes this morning, someone had already decided what you would see first, what you would feel first, what you would want before you even knew you wanted it. I'm not talking about algorithms. I'm not talking about corporations. I'm talking about the people sitting closest to you, the ones who smile at you, the ones who know exactly what to say and exactly when to say it, the ones who somehow always get what they want without ever appearing to try. You've met someone like this. Maybe you work for one. Maybe you're in love with one. Maybe, and I need you to really sit with this, maybe the person I'm describing is you. Here's what nobody tells you about power. It's never been about strength. The loudest person in the room is almost never the most powerful one. Real power is quieter than that, more patient, more precise. Real power doesn't announce itself. It simply takes. And you will never protect yourself from something you don't understand. So, today, we're going inside it. These are the 48 shades of manipulation, the unspoken laws of power that nobody teaches you out loud, but everyone around you already knows. Let's begin. Shade 1, never show your true intentions. Think about the last time you told someone exactly what you wanted. Not the edited version, not the version you shaped to sound reasonable or humble or appropriately casual. The raw version, the real version, the this is what I actually want version. How did that go? Because at some point in your life, probably more than once, that honesty got used against you. Someone took the information you handed them in good faith and held onto it, quietly, patiently. And then one day, in a moment when you weren't ready, they used it. Or maybe nothing that dramatic happened. Maybe they just became less interested, less engaged, like showing them everything made the mystery disappear. And the mystery was the only thing keeping them in the room. We are told from childhood that honesty is a virtue, and it is. I'm not arguing against honesty. But there is a difference, an important one, between honesty and full disclosure. Honesty means not lying. Full disclosure means handing a stranger a map to everything you are. Your goals, spoken out loud, invite interference. Your desires, made visible, become leverage. Your fears, once named to the wrong person, become weapons. Not today, maybe, but the day they stop caring about you, and some of them will. Those weapons will already be loaded. The most effective people in any room are not the most deceptive. They are the most intentional. They understand that information about yourself is the only resource that, once given away, cannot be taken back. The people who deserve the full map, they're rare. You'll know them because they showed you theirs first. Move quietly. Let your results do the talking. The shade isn't deception, it's discipline. Shade 5, love was the weapon. There's a line by the poet Warsan Shire that has stayed with me. You can't make homes out of human beings. She meant it as a warning. Most people only understand it after the damage is done. This one is harder to talk about than the others, because the others, the hidden intentions, the manufactured anger, the engineered need, those are things done to you by someone you can eventually learn to see clearly. This one is different. This one was done to you by someone you loved. And the worst part is, they may have loved you too, in their own way, in the only way they knew how. That's what makes it so hard to name. That's what makes it so hard to leave. That's what makes you question your own memory for years afterwards, turning the same moments over and over in your hands, asking yourself, was that real? Did that actually happen? Or am I the problem? You're not the problem, but you were the target. Emotional manipulation doesn't arrive with a warning. It doesn't introduce itself. It doesn't look cold or calculated from the outside. Most of the time it looks like someone who cares about you deeply. Someone who is simply a lot. A lot of presence. A lot of feeling. A lot of intensity in the early days that felt like passion and only later revealed itself as something closer to ownership. Think about how it started. The way they made you feel chosen, irreplaceable. Like you were the only person in their world who truly understood them. Like you had been found after a lifetime of being invisible. That feeling was real, but it was also a door being opened. And once you walked through it, once you had reorganized your sense of self around being needed by this person, the door became very difficult to find again from the inside. Here is what emotional manipulation looks like up close. It looks like someone who shares their pain so completely, so constantly, that your own needs start to feel selfish by comparison. It looks like love that has conditions buried inside it, so deep you don't discover them until you accidentally violate one. It looks like someone who says, "I just love you so much." And somehow that sentence always arrives right before they ask you for something you don't want to give. And you, because you are a good person, because you feel things deeply, because you were taught that love means showing up, you stay. You stay and you give and you adjust and you apologize and you try harder. And somewhere along the way, you stop being able to remember what you wanted before they told you what to want. Now, here is the part I need you to hear most. If someone used love as a weapon against you, real love, genuine warmth mixed in with the control, that does not make you stupid. It makes you human. Emotional manipulation works precisely because it targets your best qualities, your empathy, your loyalty, your capacity to believe in people, your willingness to stay when things get hard. These are not weaknesses. They are the things that make you worth knowing. The person who weaponized them had a problem, a deep, old, probably invisible problem that had nothing to do with who you are. The tragedy is that their problem became your wound. Shade 7. Make others need you. There is a very specific kind of security that comes from being needed. Not wanted, not liked, not even respected, needed. When someone wants you, they have a choice. They can walk away and find something else that fills the same space. When someone needs you, when your absence would create a problem they genuinely cannot solve without you, that choice becomes something different entirely. Want can be satisfied elsewhere. Need cannot. Think about the people in your life who hold real power over you. I'd bet they're not the loudest ones, not the most charming or the most attractive, or the ones who tell you most often how much they care. They're the ones whose absence would cost you something real. The colleague who knows how everything works and has never written it down. The friend you trust to tell you the truth when nobody else will. The person whose specific kind of presence you've never quite managed to find anywhere else. That's organic need, built through genuine investment. And there's nothing manipulative about it. But watch what happens when it's engineered, when someone deliberately withholds information that would allow you to be self-sufficient, when they keep you slightly dependent, not enough that you notice, but enough that you keep coming back. When they position themselves as the only person who truly understands you, while quietly making it harder to find that understanding anywhere else. The line between being someone's anchor and being their cage is thinner than most people want to admit. Ask yourself honestly, in the relationships where you hold the most influence, are you needed because of what you genuinely give, or because you've made it harder for the other person to not need you? That question will tell you more about yourself than most things will. Shade 19. Use guilt as currency. Guilt is the oldest currency in human relationships. It predates money. It might predate language. It's the internal signal that fires when we believe we've hurt someone we care about, when we've fallen short of our own values. In its real form, guilt is a compass. It points us toward repair. It says, something is broken, go fix it. But like any currency, it can be counterfeited. You know the feeling. The sigh that's almost, but not quite, a sigh. The "no, it's fine" delivered in a tone that makes absolutely clear it is not fine. The way someone revisits what you did months ago, not to heal it, not to understand it, but to remind you that you still owe them. The person who has mastered guilt as a tool understands one thing about human psychology with devastating clarity. Most people will do almost anything to make that feeling stop. They will apologize for things they didn't do. They will abandon their own needs without being asked. They will stay in relationships, friendships, jobs that are slowly hollowing them out. Because leaving feels like proof of every terrible thing they've been told about themselves. This isn't care, this is captivity, dressed in the language of care. Here is how you tell them apart. Real guilt is proportionate to what actually happened. It arrives, it points you toward repair, and once you've genuinely made things right, it lets you go. Manufactured guilt is never satisfied. You apologize, and it comes back. You change, and it finds something new. Because it was never about the original offense. It was about maintaining a hold on someone who cares enough to feel bad. And the cruelest part? The person doing this to you may not even know they're doing it. Guilt as currency is often learned, not designed. It's the only emotional tool some people were ever handed, passed down through families where love always came with a price tag attached. That doesn't make it less damaging, and it doesn't mean you have to keep paying. The mirror. Before we end, I want to say something that most content in this space leaves out. If you got through these 3 shades and felt mostly relieved because you were recognizing other people who have done these things to you, good. That recognition is real, and it matters, and it will protect you. But if there was even one moment where you didn't feel recognition, where you felt something closer to familiarity, a quiet, uncomfortable click of identification, that matters too. Most people who manipulate don't think of themselves as manipulators. They think of themselves as survivors, as realists, as people who finally figured out how the world actually works. And maybe they're right about that last part. Maybe this is how the world works, a vast, largely invisible negotiation happening in every office, every relationship, every family gathering, people managing perceptions, manufacturing need, trading in guilt. But that still doesn't answer the question that actually matters. What kind of person do you want to be inside that world? Because there is another kind of power, slower, less certain, without the immediate intoxicating feeling of control. It's the power that comes from knowing yourself so completely that no one can manufacture a version of you that you don't recognize. From being so genuinely useful, so deeply trustworthy, so clearly yourself, that people choose you. Not because you engineered their need, but because you earned their respect. That kind of power doesn't require a shade to hide behind. You can understand the game completely and still choose to play it differently. They are in use right now in every room you will ever walk into. Knowing them makes you harder to move. What you do with that knowledge, that's the only shade that actually belongs to you.